Hey, what's up, everybody? This is BNJ Productions. I'm Jacob, and this is Brandon, and we're doing our Week 4 picks for this week. Starting off for college football, we've got the game day of the week, game of the week, kind of. Number 4, Ohio State at number 9, Penn State. Ohio State is a 3-point favorite, and they've done a lot without Coach Urban Meyer. He was back last week, and the team's looking really good. Penn State, kind of a mystery. Their quarterback hadn't been as good as what people thought he would be, but I mean, just a lot of big mysteries. And Brandon, who you got in this pick?
I have Ohio State in this game just because Urban Meyer's back, and I think that they're a more solid team than Penn State right now. Like you said, Penn State is kind of a mystery whether they're really good or not, but
Yeah.
I think Ohio State has
Yeah.
got this game.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you here. I mean, Ohio State has a good young quarterback. He's one of the top Heisman favorites, and his name is slipping my mind right now. But I mean, he's a really good player, and he's kind of gonna. I think he's gonna propel him over Penn State, and I think this is basically a game for a college football playoff spot, unless the two teams do just awful after this, and there's a chance that both of them could make it. Who knows? And I mean, it's just going to be a pretty quality game. Like I said, Ohio State only a 3-point favorite, and I think it's going to be a really close game, but Ohio State's going to win in the end. Up next, we got number 7 Stanford versus number 8 Notre Dame. Both undefeated. Stanford had a really close comeback win against Oregon last week. Pretty proud of them. And Bryce Love's still trying to get at where he was last year. Still a lot of trouble. Notre Dame's defense is good, but they've had a couple troubles, and I think this is going to be a really close game. But what do you think, Brandon?
I'm going to have to pick Notre Dame here. I think Notre Dame is really going to turn around this week and have a really good week this week. I think that their defense is really going to step up and be the deciding factor in this game.
Well, I mean, it is in Notre Dame, and I think that's kind of a big factor with touchdown Jesus and a lot of the other factors they have there. But I still got to go with Stanford, and I think this is going to be a breakout game for Bryce Love. They're going to try to rely on him in this game, and Coach David Shaw is going to do a lot of things to help Notre Dame. I think this is another chance for both teams could make the playoffs, or one of the teams could make the playoffs. Notre Dame definitely has to win this game to make it. Stanford definitely has to win out. I mean, it's going to be a pretty good game, but I'm going to pick Stanford in a close one. Up next, we got a big game in Texas. Number 12, West Virginia versus number 25, Texas Tech. And I know Brandon's finally happened. Texas Tech is finally ranked for a long time, and West Virginia is a 3.5-point favorite. Will Grier in West Virginia. And Texas Tech with young freshman quarterback Alan Bowman, probably the best freshman playing football right now in the NCAA. What do you got here, Brandon?
Right here, I'm a little biased, but I want to say Texas Tech because Texas Tech has bettered their defense from last year, and I think the only thing that was holding us back at the first of the year was when we lost to Ole Miss was our quarterback situation. And now that we have the quarterback situation figured out and we have our clear leader who's going to lead, I think that we're a lot better than most teams. I think I just have Texas Tech beating West Virginia this time, led by Alan Bowman. I think Alan Bowman is going to have an amazing game this week.
Yeah. I really want to pick Tech here, and I mean, just a little biased, but I mean, I really want to pick them, but until I see something bad from Will Grier in West Virginia, I have to pick him here. I mean, I think Alan Bowman is incredible. I think he's going to be playing on Sundays one day, kind of like Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, I got to pick West Virginia, and it hurts me to do that. I mean, but I think Texas Tech is good, and they've got a couple more years. Probably next year they'll take their game to the top, but I mean, losing against a team like Ole Miss, even with a different quarterback, isn't a very good situation. Ole Miss is just not a very good team, and I think Texas Tech needs this loss to get even better, and I think it's going to be one of those kind of games.
Yeah, but you can't act like it was like a bad loss. The Texas Tech really did lose because we didn't have a clear quarterback situation. We didn't keep up with their offense because we didn't have somebody dictating our offense.
Yeah, there's too many questions right now for Tech for me to solidly pick them, so I'm just going to have to go West Virginia.
Game.
Yeah, I think so too. Up next, we got kind of a sleeper game, Syracuse versus number 3 Clemson. Both teams undefeated. Clemson is a 25.5-point favorite. Syracuse upset the Tigers last year in Syracuse, and I'm gonna pick the orange here. I mean, I think they can get something because Syracuse is even better team. Their defense is better. Their quarterback situation is better, and they've played really good this year. And I think Clemson's Trevor Lawrence is going to be their quarterback. He doesn't have as much talent as I think Kelly Bryant does, but I've got to say Syracuse gets this one in a big upset.
I'm gonna have to say Syracuse here too. I haven't seen a lot, but I've seen half of one game, and from what I've seen, I really like Syracuse. And from what I've seen from Clemson, I don't think that they're that really great of a team this year. I saw a pretty good Texas A&M team that should have won that game, and I just think Syracuse is the better team this week.
I think so too. I think people are going to try to pick them, and it's going to be a little difficult, but yeah, I think it's an exciting game, and I think Syracuse is going to take back-to-back victories over Clemson. Up next, we got Arkansas versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 21-point favorite, had a big loss against Alabama last week, but that's Alabama. And Arkansas, not very good. I think it's another kind of home run for A&M, kind of just getting an easy win, big practice for the next couple games, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, Kentucky, games like that, against pretty solid teams. And I don't know how the Aggies are going to work, but, I mean, Kellen Mond's got a lot of work to do. He's an amazing quarterback. Jimbo is, of course, an amazing coach. I love these guys, but, I mean, it's going to be an easy win for A&M here.
Yeah, definitely easy. There's no question about this game. Texas A&M wins by probably a lot.
Yeah, and A&M and Tech are kind of in the same boat here. Both a lot of questions. Both play a couple really good teams, and, I mean, it's going to be a couple years, and then Tech and A&M are back at the top. But who knows? A&M's definitely going to get a win here. Up next, we got number 6, Oklahoma versus Baylor. Kyler Murray in the Heisman race. Oklahoma's a 23.5-point favorite. Baylor's having some struggles since Art Briles had to leave. And, I mean, I think it's going to be a walk in the park for Oklahoma. Maybe they'll have a little bit of struggle when Baylor had a loss against Duke. The only loss in Duke's number 22 right now, and they're playing really well. But, I mean, Oklahoma is Oklahoma right now, and I don't think anybody's going to get a good chance to beat them unless Tech or Texas or West Virginia has a chance, I think.
I don't think there's anybody playing football right now that's better than Kyler Murray, especially at a quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this kid. I think he's a good leader. I like him a lot more than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, a lot more than Baker Mayfield.
Okay, I was like,
yeah.
Well, Baker and Kyler Murray are in the same boat. Both players kind of didn't win their quarterback competitions and kind of left their teams. Kyler Murray, of course, left Texas A&M. I was fond on him over there, but I mean, he's. I always forget he used to go to A&M, but I mean, this kid, he's pretty good, and he's an amazing athlete.
Stepped up this year, really.
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Baker, but I think he's going to give him a chance for a while until they play one of the teams, Texas Tech, West Virginia, and then they're going to get upset there. But I got to go Oklahoma in this one too.
Yep.
Up next, our last game for college football, number 20 BYU versus number 11 Washington. Each team has a loss. BYU barely lost to Notre Dame, and Washington lost Auburn. And Washington, a little bit of struggle, and they're 17-point favorites. But I'm still going to stick with Jake Browning in this one like I did last week for Washington. So I'm going to say Washington wins a really, really close one. BYU is a tough team, but I got to go with Washington.
I'm going to have to go with Washington, too. I think Washington is a great team with a lot of questions and a lot of things that needs to happen before they can get back to being a great team. I think they have all the pieces there. Right now it's just about fitting the pieces back together.
Yeah, I agree there. Okay, starting off for the NFL, we've kind of got, I think, mine and Brandon's personal kind of game of the week a little bit. The Dolphins versus the Patriots. Got big questions there. Dolphins, is Ryan Tannehill back? We did a whole video on the AFC East with the Patriots and the Dolphins and the Jets and the Bills, and it's a big game, and I really don't know if I can pick the Dolphins in this one or if I can pick the Patriots because there's big questions. But I think I've got to give the edge to the Patriots here, especially if Josh Gordon plays. I mean, Tom Brady needs even more options besides Gronk, and so I think with Josh Gordon they can barely get the win here. But the Dolphins are going to prove something Sunday.
I think this is the most important game that has happened so far. I think this game is the first view of actually important games. This is really, if the Patriots want to keep themselves out of a hole, they need to beat the Dolphins right here. But with if the Dolphins want to start taking steps to secure the East, they need to beat the Patriots right here.
Yeah.
And I really think I have the Dolphins in this game. I think that the Patriots are good. They have good players, but I think the Dolphins together are a better team this year.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's definitely going to be close. Who knows? Maybe Bill Belichick is going to have a crazy plan. They haven't won since week 1, but who knows there. Up next, we got a 2-2-1 teams, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tennessee Titans. The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites, and I'm not a big fan of the Eagles this year. I don't think they're very good as people think they are. I think they're kind of overhyped. I mean, because they had that win last year, great season. Carson Wentz is finally back, but who knows? I'm gonna go with the Titans here. Coach Mike Vrabel has put incredible things together, even without players. They're taking advantage of special teams, big things like that. I mean, it's incredible to see how well they're playing compared to what they should be.
Honestly, I'd like to see the Eagles get back on track here with a win. I like to see Carson Wentz come back in and take back over control of his team and show how good of a player he really is.
Yeah, definitely. But it could go either way. I've got to pick with the Titans because they've won games they shouldn't have won, and I think they're going to just keep pushing back. Marcus Mariota, a lot of big problems with his hand, nerve damage, but I think it's going to be okay for the Titans here this year. Up next, you got the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers. Josh Allen, we talked about him a couple videos back. Aaron Rodgers is back. Green Bay is 9.5-point favorites here, and it should be a home run in the park for the Packers, but I think the Bills are going to keep it close and kind of surprise people in the way they keep it close, but I'm still going to go with the Packers in a very close game.
I very much agree. I think the Bills are going to keep it close. I think the Bills are going to come out and have a better game than a lot of people think they will, but I still think that the Packers are just too much for this team.
Yeah, and I mean the Bills are big motivated because of Vontae Davis retiring at halftime, and they're kind of like people are beating up on the Bills and saying, oh, they're worthless, blah, blah, but I mean, they came back last week and they beat a Vikings team that's better than the Packers in some parts. And so I think it's going to be a very much situation kind of like last week where they take people by surprise, but the Packers are going to be even more prepared. Clay Matthews will probably have a roughing the passer call, but I mean, that's just kind of a guarantee. But Packers are definitely going to win this one in my mind, but it could go to the Bills. I don't know, really. Up next, we got the 1-2 teams, the Detroit Lions, who beat the Patriots last weekend, Sunday Night Football, and the Dallas Cowboys, who's lost to the Seahawks. Was kind of sad there. And Dallas is a 3-point favorite, and I don't have very much to say about this one. What's your pick here?
I'm just gonna say Cowboys because both teams aren't very good.
Yeah, the Cowboys not very good. They got to figure out something with Dak. I'm not a big fan of Dak right now. They need to feed Ezekiel Elliott like the workhorse he is, and until Jason Garrett can do that, I think Jason Garrett just needs to get out of the Cowboys and get out of Dallas. Stephen Jones too, and I think it's just kind of they can save the Cowboys franchise, but right now it's nothing good.
If it comes down to it, I'd rather have Ezekiel Elliott than anybody in the franchise. If it comes down to Jason Garrett or Zeke, I want Zeke. I want them to get rid of Jason.
Me too. But I'm going to have to say the Cowboys are just going to bounce back because the Lions aren't very impressive. The defense for the Cowboys is going to be good. Sean Lee is hurt. Leighton Vander Esch is going to step up. And, I mean, I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. I really hope they do. 2-2, you can still save your season, but 1-3 is a lot harder. Up next, 2-1 teams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears. Tampa Bay has a really short week after a close game against Pittsburgh. Ryan Fitzpatrick has won the starting job over Jameis Winston, just finessing him out of his starting job. The Bears with Mitchell Trubisky and Khalil Mack is playing incredible. This is a very exciting game, probably the most exciting this week. A 3-point favorite for Chicago. And, I mean, who you got here, Brendan?
I'm going to have the Bears here. I have Khalil Mack as a pick for maybe MVP this year if he can keep getting a forced fumble and a fumble recovery like every single game.
Yeah, on that sack. He's definitely got Defensive Player of the Year, but there really hadn't been a defensive player that won MVP since Lawrence Taylor. And I think that would be probably one of the most exciting thing. But I think this game is a toss-up, but with Khalil Mack on their side, I got to go with the Bears. I mean, he'll destroy Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I don't think the Buccaneers line is good enough to keep Khalil Mack
I agree there. I agree with that. Up next, we got the 1-1 Cleveland Browns and the 0-3 Oakland Raiders. Oakland is a 2.5-point favorite, and Baker Mayfield finally getting his starting job from Tyrod Taylor. And I don't know if he should get it so far, but we don't know very much about Baker yet in the NFL. So the safest pick is for the Raiders, but I think the Browns get their second win of the year here. I mean, the Raiders are non-impressive. I do not like the Raiders and where John Gruden has taken them. I think it's going to be bad. The Browns' defense is incredible, and they're going to whoop the Raiders easy.
I think for the first time ever in a long time, you can say that the Browns look like more of a put-together team than the Raiders right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely not in the past couple years, but I think so. So you got the Browns here too?
The big question is the defense will do good. The big question is if Baker Mayfield can come out and produce well at a quarterback. I think if Baker can come out and play okay, the Browns win it.
And the big issue for the Browns is they're not using Jarvis Landry like the receiver he's capable of.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dolphins didn't use him as much, and that's why he kind of got traded. And I think if the Browns can use Jarvis Landry, it's going to elevate them to maybe a playoff team. And I'm very high on the Browns. I like them a lot, even with Baker or Tyrod. I think they're two solid quarterbacks who could get it done, either one of them. And, I mean, it's going to be a pretty good game, but I got to go with the Browns. I'm excited for them. And then up next, we got a Sunday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 3-point favorite, and the defense stepped it up last week against the Buccaneers. And Big Ben had his Big Ben games. And, I mean, they're trying to trade Le'Veon Bell. I think a good fit for him would be the Jets, but I think the Steelers are going to have some trouble against the Ravens, but I still got to go with the Steelers here. I mean, it's at home, Heinz Stadium. They had 2 rough week ones, but I think they proved some for the Buccaneers that they're not completely finished.
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers right here, too. That's another team I'd like to see put together. They have really good pieces. I'd like to see them put it together and start winning.
I mean, Antonio Brown's amazing talent. Big Ben, incredible. I think they're going to get it done against the Ravens. Last game, Monday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. Chiefs 3-0, Broncos 2-1. Kansas City is a 5-point favorite. Incredible games by Patrick Mahomes. 13 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks. He's been playing incredible. Tyreek Hill's incredible. Broncos kind of going under the radar here. They had I think they won last week against the Ravens. Not really sure, but they're kind of sleeping through. Case Keenum is back. He's with the Broncos now, and they're kind of a quiet team, and nobody's going to really expect anything from him from this game. And I mean, Von Miller, he's doing even almost as good as Khalil Mack, and A&M guy right there. But I mean, I've got to go with the Broncos here. Kind of a surprise pick. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a down-to-earth kind of game, kind of send him back to he's not going to have a bad game, but he's not going to put up the numbers he's been putting up because, I mean, Von Miller's going to teach him something about being a quarterback in the NFL, and I think it's going to be a close game, but the Broncos are going to come out with it just to surprise the Chiefs.
Here's what I think. Any other quarterback in this league, you say the key to this game is keeping Von Miller and that Broncos defense off of your quarterback. Here's the thing. With Patrick Mahomes, that O-line doesn't even need to block. Von Miller is not going to catch Patrick Mahomes even if he gets back there. Patrick is so good with his feet and can throw off his feet. No sacks. The Broncos will not be able to sack Patrick Mahomes once this game, and the Chiefs will win.
Yeah. I think Patrick Mahomes is amazing talent. I know how much you love him, kind of how I felt with Johnny, but then, yeah. Johnny Manziel. Rip. But, yeah, I agree. I think Patrick Mahomes is very capable, but Von Miller is another out-of-this-world talent. And, I mean, he's been kind of quiet because the Broncos have been quiet, but, I mean, he's incredible. I think he's probably one of the best defenders in the league. Probably number 1, Khalil Mack, number 2, Von Miller, number 3, J.J. Watt for me right now. And I think it's just kind of number 3, Luke Kuechly, and then 4, J.J. Watt. I just think he's an incredible ball player, and I think the matchup is going to be Von Miller versus Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's the big question in this game. Yeah. And so, all right, that's been our Week 4 picks. This is BNJ Productions. I'm Jacob, and this is Brandon, and we will see you next week.